Hello everybody, and welcome on this beautiful evening here at San Juan Plaza. My name is Jesse F. Fuentes. We're here at the Eagle Passes Border Coalition public access programming, addressing your concerns. And I'm very honored tonight, this evening, to have a recently announced candidate for the position of Maverick County Judge, Mr. Ruben J. Camarillo.
Sir,
Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Fuentes. I appreciate it.
I tell you what, this is something that I really look forward to, because in one of our first broadcasts, we invited concerned community members to come with us and let's do a walk and talk. Right. And I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
I hope
me
you are too.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to present a great opportunity for people to get to know you, and of course, also to see where you stand, if in fact you're going to go after that position for Maverick County Judge. I'm excited about it. Are you ready to take a walk?
Let's take a walk.
Let's walk and talk.
Okay.
All right. So, once again, thank you. Thank you for being here on the show.
The honor is mine. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I appreciate young persons, veterans, individuals like yourself coming forward and taking a step to engage.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And that's critical. I wondered if you don't mind if we could start off by giving the community an idea of who you are, and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll see about your vision and how you hope to, make things better for the community, the residents of our county, Maverick County.
Absolutely. Well, we'll just go with the basics, Jesse. So my name is Ruben Camarillo. Of course, I'm running for Maverick County Judge as a candidate. And I'm from originally from Palm Springs, California.
Wow.
So I actually, just a long story short, I met my wife here when I deployed for the last, the border crisis that happened. Of course, they sent us here in place of the National Guard.
Wow.
And, long story short, met my wife and moved here to beautiful Eagle Pass. I've always been into politics. And I immediately fell in love with this community.
Awesome.
It's got so much culture and luscious. I mean, you can see it right here.
Right.
And it's beautiful. So I'm so glad that this is my home. And of course, I want to do what I can to serve.
Awesome. With that in mind, I believe that you've been involved in the community through some other ventures like creating content and stating your opinion and being a reporter, a journalistic reporter. What do you feel that are some of the biggest issues that are affecting our county, our city, our community, our region, our environmental aspects? I mean, we can go into, there's so much there.
Oh, of course.
But you can go into whatever you feel, in top order, and tell us what is some of your major concerns.
Well, I think the biggest concern, of course, for me and the rest of the community is something that we get tired of hearing, and that's about transparency.
Of course.
Transparency is something very important to the community, especially when we want to know where all of our tax dollars are going. I believe I watched the last show that you had with Commissioner Morales.
Right.
And there's a lot of misinformation. He's right.
Yeah.
Now, it's very important, it's very crucial that you citizens like you and myself know where our tax dollars are going.
Absolutely.
Especially when it comes to the environment. In this case, I know we'll get into the subject. In this case, the new bridge that we want to bring, or the Port Authority, which is Puerto Verde.
Right.
So I understand it's a very touchy subject.
Yeah, it is. It is because, we feel as community members that we've been left out of the process.
Okay.
And it shouldn't be that way, because,
no, of course.
This type of project at this type of level is going to affect the entire community, the entire region.
Yeah, no, of course.
And, sometimes small neighborhoods and areas that are sometimes forgotten, they're run over without any opinion, without any input. And that's the biggest takeaway from what's happened over the last year and a half, where, our elected officials have not listened to the community.
Right, of course.
And that's key, because they put you there.
Yeah, of course.
And it's important that the persons that are in an elected position respond to the community and be transparent. Right. And I appreciated Commissioner Morales because he's basically the only one that has really come forward, right? That was willing to take a walk and talk to tell us what's going on, because there's a lot of people in the Second Mines area that are definitely concerned about their property, about future situations with the environment. There's areas that are flood zones there that if you bring this type of incredible build in an area that's boxed off by two creeks, eventually the flooding is going to be worse. And there's a lot of concern, and that's where our organization, the Eagle Pass Border Coalition, you know, just when people started to come to us, then we started to speak up on their behalf. And I guess that's the biggest thing. There's concerns about, you know, yes, we want the city to grow,
absolutely,
we want the community to grow, we want the county to grow, but in a strategic manner where individual community members are, you know, asked their opinion, or if even through a referendum or something, you know, what's the best location. And Mr. Commissioner Morales mentioned that he saw what Del Rio did, and they put it to a vote.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm saying, I think when you give the people an opportunity to speak, they're going to say, you know, what's on their heart, what's in their mind, for their family, for their future. And that's what the community is looking for, individuals that are going to respect and solicit opinion from the community. So, you know, there's so much that we could discuss. Basically, what do you think, what is your vision of that aspect? What do you see? I mean, I know you're probably relatively new to the area, but in the time that you've been here, what do you think is the best type of move for the community, the county of Maverick?
Well, I definitely want to start off by saying, Jesse, that we grow as people, and of course we gain experiences, we make mistakes, and we learn. So one of the biggest things is knowing something. Now, I wish I could have known all about this, about how it affects the environment, everything about Puerto Verde or the river, the environment, how important it is, how crucial it is to our community. I looked into it, and it's mind-boggling, you know, and it is very important, and I don't think it's quite fair for our elected officials to just brush it off. So, with that being said, of course, I'm for progress. Yes. I think we all are. We're for progress, and we want something like this to come in. Right. However, not at the expense of the environment, absolutely, not at the expense of people's homes. I really think that we not take it all the way back to the drawing board, but have a discussion with the community and see what they think about it. I did hear we did have a town hall. Yes. I had no idea about it.
Another one's coming up, so you are invited.
Oh, thank you so much.
December the 6th,
I will be there.
We'd love to have you there.
Absolutely. And one of the biggest issues, I think, with Puerto Verde, especially when it comes to the environment, only one, I believe it was the presidential ordinance that was approved. And that's it. I believe there's 6 more pending. I don't know them all off the top of my head, but one of them is the Clean Water Act, the Endangered Species. All of that needs to pass in order to have this authority come in. Right. And I think that our administration pushing that before all of these pass, it's not fair to the community. And again, that falls in with transparency.
And that's, I think, has been the biggest downfall for our current set of commissioners, except for one, Mr. Morales, and the judge. Whereas, you know, I could compare it to something along the lines like, if you're getting an estimate to build your house, but you don't know how much it's going to cost you, right, or you don't know how much of a benefit or how much you're going to be making. In our sense, we let someone in, and we still don't know how the county is going to benefit. Right. And that's the most critical thing for me as a taxpayer and as a resident, that the county invested close to $200,000 for a feasibility study. And they identified a location, which would be to the north. It's on 277 and the new connection with Loop 480. And the engineers identified that area as the best location. And then all of a sudden that disappears. And then there was another study and engineering evaluation of the flooding back in 2009. And that study was looking at flood mitigation in all the 4 main creeks of Maverick County.
Okay.
And they identified the Seco and the Elm Creek as a no-build zone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, do not build anything here.
Yeah, of course.
So there's pertinent data that's available that tells them, don't put it here, but you know, and that's the tough part. I'm saying we as an organization, the community also, we understand that the county needs a revenue source.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need it, but God, at what expense? You know, you want to bring it in through an established neighborhood,
right,
where, you know, there's schools, there's churches, there's businesses,
absolutely,
there's residents, there's flooding problems. It's a FEMA designated flood zone, and you wonder, what's the intent? You know, how are you going to benefit if long term you're going to be creating bigger problems? Whereas the study identified the location that says all the room to grow.
Yeah.
You know, and ideal location because
right,
it's not a neighborhood. There's not thousands of people out there.
Right.
I mean, what do you do? And that I hope is something that a lot of the residents hope to see, you know, where you stand and that you look at the case and evaluate it with a sense of, I guess, responsibility to the constituents, you know. And
absolutely.
That's the key. If you can focus on that aspect and others that are important, getting grants for flood mitigation. We identified through a study 35 different zones in Maverick County, about 19 to the south and about 16, 17 to the north that need attention, you know.
Of course.
So the grant writing, if we can get some funding, if our state representative could focus on, infrastructure instead of militarization. Not that I have anything against the military. I respect
no, of course.
them 100%. But I figure when the military is sent somewhere, there's a mission identified. You complete that mission, and then you move on. You know, at least a perspective from a lot of the people that I know.
Absolutely.
But, you're ex-military. What do you think?
Well, we definitely need a voice in Austin. I think we really need to collaborate with our state representative, our governors, to get, especially as a county judge, to advocate for that. I did have a different perspective back in the day, but then when you look into it, you have to understand that, again, this also comes with the environment is concerned.
Right.
Like with I think it was $1.9 billion in buoys. I am all about border security. However, again, not at the expense of the environment. Right. I think as a county judge, I would definitely advocate for more manpower. More drone surveillance, riverbank lighting, something that's going to make it safe without having to destroy the river with the buoys.
The environment.
Absolutely.
And that's what a point that I've been trying to get across, that river provides sustenance for us. It's our life source. And if you put bulldozers and dredgers and heavy equipment in there, it's going to kill it.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think it's a big issue with listening to us. I know we have a small voice, but we have to make it clear, especially, like I said, collaborate with our state representative, our congressman, and do everything we can to get a voice in Austin, so that way they can come down and raise some eyebrows, because again, especially as a former military person, that's a lot of wasted resources.
Yes.
So we're going to waste federal funding on resources on stuff that we don't need, and plus, on the end, it's going to damage the environment as well.
I know.
We want to make sure that everybody in the community has a voice.
And that's the key thing, that I think as an individual that has identified himself with interest to do good for the community, those are some of the key points, which is, flood mitigation. The biggest one overall, though, Puerto Verde. I guess getting resources out to the county, and I just don't know if there's been a lot of turmoil in Commissioner's Court.
Oh, yes, there has been. we can all see it.
But I don't know how you feel. Do you think you could be a uniter there? What is your perspective?
Absolutely. The goal is definitely to unite the whole entire team, because if we're divided, we just can't get the job done. There's going to be differences. Okay, we're all going to have differences of opinion. But again, when it comes to the county, and when it comes to the county, the community, our constituents, we have to come together to find solutions to these problems. If we can't get it together, it just doesn't work out. And we've seen that already happen before.
How do you feel about working more in line with the city instead of what's been the example over the last 2 years, where there's just a lot of misinformation and mistrust, and there's just no communication?
Right. That's the key word, is communication. Of course, I have my differences with some of a lot of our elected officials, but that does not mean I'm not willing to work with them. And we have to
be able to.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're doing good. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have to emphasize communication. That is definite key, because if we don't, we're just going to keep battling it out with each other, being divided, and nothing is going to get done. I think a really good example is what happened with the EMS fire services. That was a disaster. I mean, yes, it got done, but at what cost? It was it was mind blowing.
And that's why I'm saying that I'm so concerned. I know the county needs a revenue source, and a third bridge would be ideal.
Absolutely.
I mean, but it should not be done at the expense of the community and
Right.
the residential area. It should be well thought out. It should be strategic. They had a real good plan. I'm just trying to see if what would be your stance if you got in there. What do you think?
Well, we definitely want to welcome a new bridge. We definitely want to welcome progress. However, we want to do it the right way. We want to make sure that every tax dollar we want to make sure that everything is, at least the community has or gets some kind of benefit financially. When you have a private port authority when we have a private port authority that we don't know anything about, we're not going to know where the money goes. Who's going to benefit from it? Like you said, we do need a source of revenue, and I think Puerto Verde would be a good source of revenue as long as we know where it's going. We want to make sure that the environment is safe too,
Right.
Make sure all of the regulations and protocols are happening, like hazmat, noise, pollution, all of that must be regulated so we can all benefit from this.
If I can convey a message to you, basically of what we hear from a nonprofit organization standpoint, a lot of people are frustrated with our area, our border being continually kind of like, pushed down, in a sense that that there's some type of situation where we're in an emergency situation.
Oh, yes.
And so many things can get done through an emergency declaration, but it's only by one individual, like per se our governor or per se our president. What could we do as, let's say, if you were to be elected, Judge, what could we do as a community to say, hey, it's time for this type of militarization to stop? What do you think, or what is your stand on it?
Well, that's all going to depend on, again, our state reps and our congressmen. Again, like you said, communication is key.
Right.
We have to communicate with our state representatives. We have to communicate with our congressmen, so that way we can get better communication with our president and our governor to let them know, hey, it is time to demilitarize our environment. So, and again, I'm all about border security.
Yeah.
And I'll say it again and again and again, but not at the expense of the environment and, of course, our livelihoods here in this community. It's big.
It's it's part of our culture. It's part of our history. The last time federal troops were in our area was in 1916 during the Mexican Revolution, and they didn't set up any barriers. They didn't set up any fences. They didn't build any. They were just camped out, and watching. And that's basically, we already have a federal wall that's almost 3 miles long. I mean, it's there to serve a purpose. It protects the entirety of the city's infrastructure. So what I'm saying is, I think we're ready to get some normalcy.
Absolutely.
If you could run on a platform of normalcy, what is normal to you? Mr. Ruben, what is normal to you?
Normal, I would say, not having troops camped out all over the place. making sure that we're treating everybody with dignity and respect, especially when it comes to all of this. I, as a former member of the military, I was all about seeing my family. As you can see, a lot of these soldiers out here are missing family time. I've talked to a lot of them. They're from all over the place, from Georgia, from some of them from Michigan, and these missions are longer than a regular deployment. It's heartbreaking.
And that's the hard part for me, because in my travelings on the river and in certain situations on the river, I could see the soldiers crying, having to follow orders, and as a soldier you follow your orders.
Absolutely.
But I was just worried for them. It's not an easy job.
No, it's not.
And treating individuals like what I saw personally, I feel that we need a break from the harshness.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
And
it's chaos.
Yeah.
It's really, and I think one of the biggest things I want to emphasize, especially when it comes to the migration, my biggest concern is the death and destruction that happens. When they come over, they're being told the wrong thing. They're being told, hey, you know what, you can just go over, but you got to give me all your money. People are getting robbed, and people are just getting the wrong idea. And that's, preservation of life is important. We're all human beings.
Yeah, and that's the key right there. It's all about, humanity and being humane. We've existed, Eagle Pass has existed since 1849.
Wow.
And we've got an incredible history. But I've never seen so much, cruelty. I don't think we need to be at that level, but a lot of the local officials are afraid to speak up, or or to pen a letter, or or stand behind you and support you, or anything like that. It's tough. I figure you're saying a lot of good things.
I appreciate it.
And I appreciate that. I think the people listening out there are going to value the words that you say, and most of all, they're going to value if you're a man of your word.
Absolutely.
If you go out there and, like, I'm personally inviting you this I think it's Saturday, December the 6th,
okay,
from 1 to 4, to join us at the Canada Q&A session at the ICT.
I'll be there.
And would love to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We're trying to, we can't, as a 501c3, we can't support or sponsor any political candidate, but we can try to inform the voters about who the candidates are.
Absolutely.
Is there anything else that you would like to say
Absolutely.
to the community out there?
Absolutely. I definitely want the community to get to know who I am. I know that throughout the years, a whole Republicans versus Democrats thing has happened for forever now. And I think that's a distraction of what's going on. I run as a Republican because those are my values. However, I would never impose them on anybody. Those are what makes me happy. Those are that's not going to label me as a candidate. I want to unite everybody. I want to work with Democrats, Republicans, conservatives, liberals alike, and moderates, anybody, because this is a crucial time right now that we have to really fix our community. Absolutely. Red versus blue is just a huge distraction, and we're never going to get anything done if we're just divided.
Absolutely.
So I want everybody to come together as a leader and as your county judge. I want to unite everybody, whether it's in Commissioner's Court, in City Council, with the Mayor and City Council, everybody, because we need to be stronger together at this point in time.
And that's a very well said point, because, I mean, right now, what's coming to Eagle Pass, Maverick County, is incredible. The projects that are aligned, the investments that are aligned.
Yeah, we're growing.
Yeah, it's going to be tremendous, but we need individuals like you that can, we got about 5 minutes? Okay. We need individuals like you that are going to be able to, not be afraid to speak up.
Of course. Well, I think we know that I'm not afraid to speak up, and I think that'll benefit everybody.
I think it will. And
without any profanity, of course.
Of course. It's always good to get your point across in a civil manner. I appreciate you calling me and saying, Mr. Fuentes, let's go for a walk. Because,
absolutely.
It's like this. And to me, it also doesn't matter blue, red, Republican, Democrat, Independent, progressive, in the middle. It doesn't matter. What's good for the community is good for the community, and we need to take care of our residents and our constituents. And if you're in elected office, don't ever say, I won't talk about that subject.
Absolutely not. You know?
You're in that position to, you know, promote our county, our city, and for the betterment of the community. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Appreciate everything that you've done as an individual, as a producer of content, as a you know, a journalist. Every aspect that you've contributed. It's good to find individuals who are willing to stand up and speak up.
Absolutely.
And that's a great thing about you. It's the community's decision. There's going to be an incredible March primary and then an incredible general election in November. And this is one gentleman that you need to look out for and listen to him, because he's willing to, oh wow.
Some nice loud music there. Gotta feel like dancing.
This is what I love about a walk and talk. It's just wide open. There's people everywhere, and they're giving us the time and the respect. I want to thank the public for being here with us, and
it'll pass.
We're gonna dive a little.
It'll pass.
Once again, Camarillo, thank you.
Of course.
Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate what you do. I appreciate your intent, and I appreciate the fact that you're willing to run for an office, an elected office. And I want to say that I want the people to get to know you. So hopefully you can join us.
Absolutely.
Be there for us. And listen, this offer goes out to anybody out there. If you want to go for a walk and talk, we're available for you, and we'll get the community to get to know you on this beautiful, beautiful location. Now, the last couple of times it wasn't lit up like this, but today it's lit up. At this time, I want to say thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you in a week or so. All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.